Some residents of Lagos State and motorcycle operators are appealing to the state government to reconsider or at least extend the deadline for the ban on commercial motorcycle operations. This comes as the enforcement in 4 more local governments and 6 local council development areas entered day 2 today. Senior correspondent Adedoja Salam Adeniyi visited Alapere in Agboiketu local council development area to assess the level of compliance.
Alapere is one of the major hubs for commercial motorcycle operators in Lagos State. But on this day of Okada enforcement in the additional 4 local government areas and 6 local council development areas, the streets are empty of the riders. As some of the Okada riders are seen hanging around helplessly, the tricycle operators are busy with passengers.
Business with everything, we all the park, all the run, no park safe. It is all they go like say.
Everything is alright. Yes. So we are seeing some. Yes.
I felt very bad, very sad, very weak. Even my landlord now, he spoke to me this morning about house rent. Where will I ask him money to pay house rent? So we beg the Lagos State governor to reconsider his decision. Maybe give us more time so that we go adjust.
I have to check for my house to go and buy food. So I don't think it is a very good reason for them to ban Okada because it's very stressful.
This latest ban is coming exactly 3 months after Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu ordered a total restriction on Okada in 6 local government areas comprising Etiosa, Surulere, Ikeja, Lagos Island, Lagos Mainland and Apapa in June this year. This brings to a total of 25 councils of the 57 local councils in which Okada activities have been banned. The lingering security challenges bedeviling the country at large is a major reason why Okada is banned in Lagos. Adedoja Salam Adeniyi, TVC News, Lagos.
Now let's talk this through by speaking with Public Affairs Analyst Gbola Oba, who is joining me in the studio. Thank you so much for joining us on TVC News at 1.
Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Yeah, it's really mixed feelings for a lot of Nigerians, commuters and also bike riders who feel, okay, we need the road to be clean, we need people's life to be safe, as well as other people who are also saying, how do I put food on the table? What's been your reading on this whole situation?
You have mentioned one of the most important factors or reasons that guide the governance of basic human society, safety. Another reason will be security. You know what? Lagos has 57 local government areas and local council development areas, cumulatively 57. The total ban as we speak is in just about 25. For any enterprising rider, there are still more than 25 areas, indeed 30-something areas, about 32.
For them to operate?
For them to operate. But apart from that, the security situation in Lagos, and it's not only Lagos, and the safety situation. You can imagine people coming from as far as Burkina Faso, Mali, Niger, no traceable. A young man, I think it's about time we start telling ourselves some, but a young man was my PA for 8 years. His name is Abbas Ogundipe. He was my PA for 8 years. He left me, graduated to owning his own company, IT company, indeed made me a director in that IT startup company. He went to consult for a company in Apapa. He just wanted to go take his lunch. As he walked out of that company, somebody rode a bike, knocked him down. The concussion that he had was mismanaged and that boy lost his life. 2 young children married less than 3 years ago. The whereabouts of the person that knocked him down, nobody knows.
Yeah, but others will argue that accidents are not only peculiar to those who ride Okada, so to speak,
The
motorcycles.
propensity is far higher. You see, fantastic human angle story your correspondent has done. I think it's about time too you did another human angle story, say at orthopedic hospital in Igbobi, and you will see the dramatic reduction in the wastage of human lives. And when we talk about people getting major injuries.
Don't you feel it's a situation of being between the devils and the deep blue sea?
And you sometimes have to call in the direction of the devil if the deep blue sea is going to sink you anyway, because the devil is an invisible force and you better just dare it.
So the deep blue sea might be the economic impact on people's lives who are thinking, how do they feed their families? I'm trying to make a point. If we are trying to forestall some form of, accidental, anything that has to do with accidents, one way or the other, are we not also mindful of the fact that some of these guys might take to crimes, as some have alleged?
Let me give you, I'm not a spokesperson for the Lagos State government, right, and I'm speaking as somebody who lives in Lagos. Mm. But let me also put this on the table. The Lagos State government claims that through the Ministry of through the Ministry of Wealth Creation, through the Ministry of Women and Poverty Alleviation, through the civic department of the government, that they are packaged empowerment programs for those who may want to be reskilled. I am talking as an owner, visionary and founder of 2 major training institutes. I'm talking to you now as somebody who owns a training institute in Lagos, Building and Construction Training Institute, and I get average of 120 to 150 million naira to train young Nigerians every year. Average of 120 to 150 million naira, they don't come. Now, if you live in a society that the first term system that ran in Lagos ran in 1902, term as in term with term. Now, the first term system that ran in Lagos ran in 1902. Now, we kept going backwards. We got to the nada of Okada. If there is a government that has the stomach to say, you know what, this would be packages to reskill you. In a city of 22 million, you may be shocked. I was in Abuja yesterday, and a lady that did some basic secretarial study, some basic secretarial work for me, collected 53,000 naira. Because what I'm saying is, if you're in a city of 22 million, and you are a serious-minded human being who has a good destiny for your future, there are many other entrepreneurial opportunities.
Talk about the future. A man who was supposed to be, who was a motorcyclist, actually lamented the fact that he was 57 as at the time of responding to our correspondent. Now, he was 57. What do you expect him to do? What kind of skill? There are so many
other things a man can find to do in a city of 22 million. We are talking of one of the 30 mega cities on the face of the earth. Right. If anybody cannot find something to do in a city of 22 million, especially when there are packages, and I'm telling you, apart from the government, I am talking as a social entrepreneur who envisioned and started training institutes. Right. You know what? As I'm talking to you today, apart from training opportunities, there are also enterprise empowerment opportunities from the private sector. Wow. If we need to use organs such as this to enlighten our public and let those people know that there are alternatives, maybe we need to emphasize it.
Well, we'll definitely continue to. It's going to be an ongoing conversation because we'll see how the government means the total ban on Okada this time around, because we still see some security officials, or officers rather, who still ride Okada, on the road.
And on one instance, you saw the governor's convoy stopped a gentleman who stopped a guy who rode into a military barrack, and they went after him. You know what? At the end of the day, any society that lacks respect for the rule of law, where people think they can do something because of some privileges they have, that society will end up in chaos. We ought to have moved from the direction of tram to light rail and other things. We cannot be going backwards forever.
Absolutely. We'll definitely continue to talk about these, as I said earlier. Public Affairs Analyst Gbola Oba, thank you so much for your insight.
Thank you for the privilege of being on your set.